myself Bhautik Trivedi, working as an assistant professor in IT ICT department of LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. I will explain you the concept of software defined network part 2 in advanced networking protocol subject. So already you know the basic concepts of the software defined network. Already you know the different types of plane in software defined network. So how many type of planes you know? So mainly 3 types of plane. One, that is the data plane, second one, that is the control plane, and third one, that is the management plane. So in today's session, the major focus on the examples of the software defined network, how I establish the software defined network in networking concept. So let's start with the concept of, first of all of you know the concept of routing. Why we use the routing? And routing, that's the part of which particular layer? So routing, that's the part of the network layer. So here you just see one example of the routing. So here the example, that is the shortest path routing. So here you just see one diagram that totally demonstrates the concept of the routing. So in this total number of node, so let's start with the node number S, U, V, W, X, Y and Z. So start from the S up to the Z. So here with using the shortest path routing, I directly demonstrate the concept of how I measure the shortest path. So here you just see in this particular diagram total number of nodes. So first of all, whenever you create any particular graph, so at that time the total number of nodes or total number of vertices in this particular graph. So let's start with this. First of all V, then after the W, then after X, Y, Z, S and T. So here I directly compute the path cost to all nodes. So means here I decide one source node. Which node as a source node? So U as a source node, and then after I directly calculate from this particular source node to all other nodes, I directly measure the costing. So here you just see, if I want to measure the cost of the path through each link, so at that time I directly focus on the concept of the next hop. So next hop along the least cost path to S, means here I directly measure source node that can be treated as a U and the destination node that can be treated as a S, and I directly find out the least cost from U to S. So here you just see in this particular figure also U to W and W to S. So U to W, total number of total costing 2, and W to S, total costing 4. So 2 plus 4 means that is the 6. Any another path is that from U to S? So U to V, V to X, X to T and T to S. But that measure the 3 plus 1 plus 5 plus 3. So that is the 12. So which one is the least cost? So here U to S, that's the least cost. So the path is that U to W and W to S. So this is the way you can directly calculate for the shortest path routing. So here you just see in this particular table also U to V direct link, U to W direct link. But if I want to directly go from the U to X, so which one is a next hop? So at that time that is the W, because U to W and W to X, that supported the costing 3. But if I directly select U to V and V to X, that supported the 4. And out of the 3 and 4, which one is the least cost? That's 3. So that's why I select this path as a shortest path. So this is the way you can directly perform the calculation for the different nodes. This is about the concept of the shortest path routing. After that, distributed control plane, because all of you know how many types of plane, mainly 3 types of plane. First one, that is the data plane, second one, that is the control plane, and third one, that is the management plane. Here I directly demonstrate the concept of the distributed control plane with using the concept of link state routing. So here you just see, all of you know the 2 examples of the link state routing. One, that is the OSPF, that is the open shortest path first, and second one that is known as a ISIS, means intermediate system to intermediate system. So here whatever the graph in a figure number 1, that remain as it is. Only change which particular algorithm, that's the part of that. If I want to find out the shortest path between the two nodes, with using the which particular algorithm I can do that. The name of the algorithm, that is the Dijkstra's algorithm. So in this, whatever the entire topology, I directly apply the flooding, and flooding, that is the most important operation in a networking. So flood the entire topology to all the nodes, and each node compute the shortest path. So again, the table that remain the same logic, whatever I discussed in a previous slide. So here you just see that is related to the link state routing concept. After that, another one routing, that is the DV routing. Anyone know the full form of that? DV means distance vector routing. Distance vector routing supported the two operation. One protocol, that is the RIP. What is the full form of RIP? Routing Information Protocol. And second one, EIGRP. So that is the Enhanced Interior Gateway Routing Protocol. So what's the difference between the distance vector and the last one? Again, here each node compute the path costing, and based on the each neighbor's path costing, I directly calculate this. This is the formula for that. Means if I want to calculate DUZ, so at that time, first of all, find out the costing from U to V, then after distance of Z, then after costing of U to W, and distance of Z from W. So this is the way, with using this particular formula, you can directly calculate the costing from one node to another node. Which particular algorithm, that is the part of that, the algorithm, the name of the algorithm, that is known as a Bellman-Ford algorithm. With using this, you can directly calculate the distance vector routing. Must remember one thing, up to this, at least you know the 2 points. The first one, that is the link state routing. Link state routing supported the Dijkstra's algorithm, and whenever you talk about the distance vector routing supported the Bellman-Ford algorithm. After that, one another concept, already you know the two types of routing. One, that is the inter-domain routing, and second one, that is the intra-domain routing. So what is the difference between that? Inter-domain means between the two autonomous systems, and whenever you talk about the intra-domain means within a one particular autonomous system, you can directly apply the routing. So here you just see inter-domain routing protocol. Anyone know the name of the intra-domain routing and inter-domain routing? So inter-domain routing protocol, the name of the protocol, that is the BGP, that is the border gateway protocol, and intra-domain routing protocol, that is the RIP and OSPF, that is the example of the intra-domain routing protocol. So what's the logic behind that? So whenever you talk about the inter-domain routing protocol, so routing only on destination IP address block, that is the most important point, can only influence immediate neighbors only. And the third most important thing regarding inter-domain routing, very difficult to incorporate other information. This is about the concept of inter-domain routing. But in this one particular subtopic, application specific peering. What is the meaning of application specific peering? It route video traffic only one way and non-video in another way. That can be treated as an application specific peering. After that, blocking denial of service traffic means at that time whatever the unwanted traffic is that you can directly drop the unwanted traffic for further upstream. And fourth one, that is the inbound traffic engineering. So inbound traffic engineering means what? You can directly apply the operation splitting. Splitting means what? You can directly apply the splitting for incoming traffic with using the multiple peering links. So this is the way you can directly apply the concept of inter-domain routing. After that, here you just see this particular figure. That's very simple one. Mainly two focusing point here. One, that is the data center. Second one, that is the front office. In between, I directly put the different router. How many router here? R1, R2, R3, R4 and R5. So R1 to R5, that is the router. Data center is that, front office is that. Between the two locations, each with the data center and front office, all router exchanging the routes over the all the links. So here I put the concept of Chicago and New York, and in between I put the data center and front office. So with using this, you can directly apply the different kind of access to different kind of person or different kind of router. So after that, the most important thing, traffic engineering means what? And whenever you apply the optimization in traffic engineering, how I apply this? So mainly three focusing point. One, that is the input. Second one, that is the output. And third one, that is the objective. Input. Input supported the three types. One, according to the network topology, according to the link capacity, and according to the traffic metrics. That is about the input. Output means what? Finally, output, that is the link weight, means that totally depends on the weight of the link. And why we use the optimization in traffic engineering? What's the objective of that? Objective is that it minimize max utilize link or minimize a sum of link congestion. So with using this, you can directly apply the objective of the traffic engineering. After that, here you just see the figure. This is the packet forwarding. This is the network OS, and here I put the different features. So first one, what's the steps for establishing a software defined network? So first of all, open the interface to packet forwarding. So first of all, you apply the packet, you traverse the packet. So first of all, you open the interface to packet forwarding. This is the step number one. What's the step number two? So with using the open flow technique, you can directly open the interface to packet forwarding. Step number two, you establish one network OS. All of you know network operating system, that is the most important part for any networking concept. So at least one network OS, probably many open and close-ended source. With using this, you can directly establish the network OS also. Step number three, that is the most important one. You establish whatever the network OS, that is consistent, up-to-date global network view. So with using this, you can directly establish the software defined network. After that, whatever the component in this particular figure, here I directly demonstrate each and every important points with using the example. So first of all of you know network OS. Already I know that's one kind of distributed system. With using this distributed system, I can directly creating a one consistent and up-to-date network view. Whatever the network OS that is run on a server in a network. Any example of that? Knox, Onyx, Trema, Beacon, Maxtro, plus many things. These all are the network OS. That's the part of the software defined network. Using the concept of forwarding abstraction, how I apply the forwarding abstraction in network OS? So first one, you can directly get the state information for each and every forwarding elements. And second one, give control directives to each and every forwarding elements. So with using this, you can directly apply the forwarding abstraction in a network OS. Again I repeat, must remember one thing. Whatever the forwarding elements, first of all you directly get the state information, and then after you directly give the control directives to each and every forwarding elements. After that, again whatever in a previous figure, that remain as it is, only change in a one place. Here I put the control program. So packet forwarding remain as it is, network OS remain as it is, global network view remain as it is, only change in a control program. So here you just see what do you mean by control program and why we use the control program in software defined network. So control program generally operate on a view of the network. Mainly two important points regarding the control program. One, that is the input, and second one, that is the output. Input means what? Which particular thing you apply as an input. So that is the global network view. How I apply the global network view? With using the graph or with using the database, that can be treated as an input. Output means what? Configuration of each and every network device. That is the most important thing. Means in control program you apply as an input as a global network view, and you receive the output as a configuration of each and every network device. Must remember one thing, control program is not a distributed system. It is a one kind of abstraction. It hides the details of distribution stack. So this is about the concept of the control program. After that, whatever the previous figure, I directly demonstrate this particular figure in a detailed manner. You just see the diagram remain as it is, only change step by step. So here you just see the network OS is that, global network view is that, but here I put one another concept, and the name of the concept that is known as a network hypervisor. Already you know the name of the supervisor, but here I put the network hypervisor and virtual topology. So in this, the last point of this particular topic, that is the virtualization. So virtualization means what? So here I directly demonstrate the concept of the global network view. And whenever using the concept of the virtualization in a software defined network, so must remember one thing, it directly simplify the control program in a detailed manner. So here I put the global network view. After I apply the global network view, then after here I put the abstract network view. After putting the abstract network view, then after I put the A to B dropping at each and every state. So what's the functionality of the hypervisor? Hypervisor directly insert the flow entry when it needed into the virtualization part. So that's all about the today's session. Must remember one thing in this, mainly 5 important points. First one, start with the different routing techniques. Distance vector routing is that, then after the link state routing is that, then after the shortest path routing is that, then after using the concept of the virtualization, how I put the different virtualization part in this. So that's all about the concept of the software defined network. Thank you for watching.